So last night, a brand new show called Atlanta premiered on the FX channel. Now it stars Donald Glover. You may also know him as Childish Gambino, but he's also written the show and he's created the show and like a major inspiration behind the show. And let me just tell you, this show is basically what was needed for like the past few years as far as showcasing Atlanta. Now, there's plenty of reasons why I like this show. And this is plenty of reasons why I will keep coming back to the show, and hopefully this show will continue to grow and just to stay true as much as it can, because I know it's Hollywood, some things are not completely true, but stay true as close as it can be to showcase the different communities around Atlanta and to show the other side of Atlanta that's not really showcased in many television series or many films that are shot in Atlanta or takes place in Atlanta. There's Midtown, there's Buckhead, and there's half of downtown, which is Atlanta, but that's not the Atlanta which makes Atlanta, Atlanta. You know, there's the West End, there's Southeast Atlanta, there's half of Grand Park area, there's half of Decatur, there's Southwest Atlanta, there's Bankhead, you know, and the show starts off in these areas. Now, I'm pretty sure it's gonna eventually cross over to the other side and, you know, eventually show like the glitz and glamour of Atlanta. But so far, the reason why I like the show is because one of the reasons is the cinematography of the show. Now, it's very dark and it's very gritty. It's not like as flashy, and it shows the living side of Atlanta. First of all, I'm everywhere with this whole vlog thing, but let me just go back to tell you what it's about. It's basically Donald Glover's main character is a dropout, and he's trying to manage his cousin's rap career around the Atlanta area. So, you know, and it's like the day-to-day living and all the struggles and all the obstacles and the great things that we go through in life to succeed and live. Okay, so back to the cinematography. The reason why I like the cinematography of the show is because it's very dark, it's very gritty, and the camera angles. The camera angles is not like straight on. Sometimes it's, I wanna say guerrilla style of shooting, and then sometimes it's like a handheld camera. So, and it shows, it's very honest in that sense. You can tell like the lighting, they weren't too concerned about the lighting. It's just enough to get to be seen, for the characters to be seen in each shots or certain shots. But it wasn't like, okay, we gotta have the underlighting here, we gotta have the overhead light with the soft lights blinking, blinking, blinking. It was just like, no, it was just very gritty, and it, you know, because Atlanta is gritty at times. You know, it's still safe, but it is gritty. Now, I'm speaking about the show as an Atlanta native. No, I still live here in the big city, and I'm happy to say I'm glad to have worked on this set, you know, only for one day and for a few hours, but you know, hopefully I'll get to see that episode soon. Now, when the episode premieres, I will let you know, because I think I'll start doing like vlogging about each episode. So yes, we meet the main character, which is Donald Glover's character. His name is Ernest, but his nickname is Ern on the show, and his cousin is named Alfred, and goes by the name of Paperboy. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly what happens in the first episode, but I'm just telling you why I'm drawn to this episode. And another thing, I just wanted to shout out this actor right here. His name is Rennell Gibbs. Now, you know, he's in the show, he makes like a little cameo appearance, but Rennell kind of plays like the same character in almost everything he's in so far. But you know what, from one actor to another, dude, get your hustle on, man, because whoever is your agent, please let me know so I can audition for the agent, because you are almost in a lot of these Southern movies and you're making your coin and you're making a scene, and you know what, keep hustling, man. Rennell Gibbs, he's at the beginning of the first episode, so shout out to him. Another thing that stood out to me, FX, thank you so much for hiring. This may have been on Donald Glover's part, or just maybe whoever the creative director was of the show. Thank you for giving darker skinned African American actors a chance. And thank you for showcasing us. Thank you for staying true to what the show is trying to showcase, which is like the everyday struggles. Just people, I would say African American people, but just people go through. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Now, so this is one part in one show, because it was two different shows, but it was like an hour-long premiere, I want to say. They went to JR Crickets, which is in, I want to say it's Midtown Atlanta / downtown Atlanta. But the fact is, you know, the guy who served Paperboy the wings, he said he made them extra wet. It's like, let me tell you something. Lemon pepper wings are just like a novelty if you ever come to Atlanta. Now, when you get lemon pepper wings, don't go to these commercialized places to get lemon pepper wings. Now, I am in love with lemon pepper wings, and I always like them wet and extra seasoning. Now, when we say wet, I'm trying to think, should I tell y'all? You know, I'm not even gonna tell you what wet is, but if you're watching this, you're from Atlanta, and you ask for lemon pepper wings wet, that is the best thing in the world. One of the best foods in the world, one of the best dishes in the world. Now, it's made it seem like in the show you're doing them a favor. No, that's something people really just ask for. And you know, I like the fact that they showcase JR Crickets, which is like a famous restaurant here in Atlanta. But honestly, I don't eat wings from JR Crickets. I probably had it once or twice, but it wasn't out of my pocket. It was because somebody offered to pay for it, because honestly, the wings are small. They're just like these little bitty sized wings there at JR Cricket, so I don't pay for small wings. And the prices are too high. They need to cut it, all right? God, it's another wing place I go to. It's off there off of 78. It's the best wings in Atlanta, and it's a good price. And that's why, you know what, I would say, no, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind. Another part of the series which stood out to me was, I guess, Earn, Donald Glover's character, used to work at a radio station, or he knows the DJ. And so the DJ is of the other spectrum. He's Caucasian, and AKA white. Now, he was telling him a story about something that happened the night before, how the DJ played Flo Rida twice. And so he was like, I think he said N-word while you playing that stuff. And so Donald Glover's character looked at him and was like, you really said that? And so he was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, all right, that's noticeable. So then he asked the janitor, as the other DJ was walking back into the radio station, he asked the guy, he was like, the janitor was black. He was like, has that guy ever used the N-word around you? And so he was like, no, you know, kick his ass. And so it got me wondering, wait, okay, so, and then later on, he meets the guy outside of a gas station, somewhere downtown Atlanta, or, southeast, southwest Atlanta. And that by this time, Earn is with his cousin and his cousin's friend. And he was like, hey, so tell him about the DJ story last night. And so, you know, you can, as he was telling the story, you can hear the hesitant in his voice. And so Donald Glover his character Earn was basically looking at the guy saying like, I'm waiting for you to say it, I'm waiting for you to say it. And so the guy doesn't say the N-word, and so it's like, hey, don't play that. And so, and the people in the car, they were like, so what's the whole point of the story? So I could see what the message was, or what point was trying to get across, because honestly, I am in a fraternity, and I'm in two fraternities, one for the advancement of music, Phi Mu Alpha, and the other one Delta Tau Delta. But, you know, sometimes people really get too comfortable using that word. And I'm the kind of person, I never use that word. I don't like to hear the word, but you know, if whatever piece of work I'm working on says that in the script, I'm gonna have to accept it, that it's art, and I'm gonna have to say the word whenever I'm acting, or whenever I'm singing or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I pull them aside. It's like, yo, I don't use that word, so respect me and my history and not use that word. So I applaud you, whoever wrote that scene in. Thank you so much. But you know, people are still going to use it in the comfort of their own homes. And now the jail scene was the most interesting part of the show so far. It showcases, even though I've never been to jail, and I pray that I never go to jail or prison, but it shows me, you know, the different stories that are coming into one. Now I've been in something similar like jail. It was kind of like the same group of characters. There was a part in the show where I guess a gun went off, and Earn and Paperboy ends up going to jail, and they're in like a sitting area or a waiting area per se. And so basically it shows like, you know, it shows this guy over here who's just basically minding his own business and cops harass him for no reason. Or it shows like this guy who's obviously mentally unstable, but he keeps coming back to jail for whatever reason. And it shows like this guy right here who doesn't see the truth of what something really is, but his love for it basically just overshadows what society thinks of it. And I'm talking about the scene where Ern was sitting in the middle between a man and a cross-dressed, a woman. And, you know, it was getting uncomfortable to the point where people started calling him out on it. It was like, hey, that's a man that you're talking to. He was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And so basically Ern was like, I can move. And so he was like, no, you sit there. And so basically he's like, no, I'm not gay and blah, 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 blah. And so he's like, hey, you think I'm gay? And so Ern was like, well, sexuality has this broad spectrum. And he got cut off. And so I was like, that's something to think about. It just shows how messed up the system is, even though I never mess with the system. And I pray that I never have to mess with the system because I know it's an effed up system from the outside looking in. Especially the part where the mentally unstable man is in the waiting area and he ends up pouring his cup into the toilet water and he drinks it, and the cops are just like laughing at him like that this is entertainment for them, and it's borderline inhumane. And so basically he ends up spilling the toilet water on the cop, and the cop ends up, you know, arresting him, tackling him to the ground, you know, beating him, using its authority or whatever, because they felt threatened. It goes to show me like, okay, so obviously he's mentally unstable, so why are we not getting help? And why are you keep bringing him back here? Why aren't we putting him in an institute? It shows how messed up the society is and just dealing with certain things. That's my review of Atlanta so far. Hopefully I get to do an episodic review vlog for each one, and hopefully the episode in which I'm going to be on shows up and I will let you guys know about it. But till we meet again, safe travels and go watch Atlanta. But this is a show that that's showcasing the other side of Atlanta, and as an Atlantean, I am very proud of it, and we got to see where it goes. And hopefully, as it moves from season to season, it stays true to its art form, it stays true to the Atlanta, and it stays true to its community. So go watch it, Atlanta. Till we meet again, safe travels. I am gone. See ya.